Building an aquaponics part 2. Okay, here I have my demo tub and demo rock box, and I'm going to go ahead and tear all this down and from the beginning to end show you the tools and everything that we need to do to get this thing set up. Let's go. So right out of the gate to start, we got our empty 100-gallon horse trough, and again you can use 150, 300 or a 100 like we're using here, and this will be our fish pond, and I'm going to go ahead and place the wood on top so that the rock box can be held. Here we go. It's as simple as that. So we're gonna go ahead and place our rock box on top, but in addition to that, we need to drill our hole for our overflow and bulkhead. So here we go. So we're gonna need a power drill with our hole saw bit to go ahead and drill the hole for the bulkhead. So we're gonna go ahead and drill our hole for our bulkhead. There it is. So depending on what type of bulkhead you use, you'll need to change up the size of your hole saw. So in my case, I like to use 1-inch overflows, so a 1-inch bulkhead that'll be placed here. And in this case, I'm using a 2-inch hole saw that will drill a perfect hole. But these can vary, they can be wider in different sizes, so you'll just have to find out what'll work for you. So now I'm placing the bulkhead. So get it unscrewed. Go ahead and drop this in right into there, and then this end screws in on the bottom. So once you got your bulkhead piece tight, you can go ahead and add in your overflow. So this is the 1-inch tubing PVC with a coupling on top, which helps in the stop process of the bell siphon. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on top. And there's your overflow. So once you got your overflow placed, go ahead and come underneath the bulkhead and place in a downspout. Now I'll talk more about this later on in the video, but I'm just gonna place it for now and then talk later. Dot. So this is the downspout up close. So you can see where it connects into the bulkhead, and then it's just firing down into the system. And it should be placed a little higher up, but this is just for demonstration purposes. But this one looks pretty good. I like using 45s. It helps cut off the stop and start mechanism of the bell siphon. So now that we got everything plumbed up in cherry, we need to add in a screen around our overflow so that we don't get any rocks or debris in it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And I'm just using a hydroponic lid, but you can actually use pool skimmer lids from Lowe's or Menards and different places like that, just to protect around your bell siphon. And now I will show you the bell siphon that goes on top that makes the off and on mechanism work for the flood and drain. So this is going to go right over the top of this, just like that. And this is basically a 3-inch cap with a 3-inch pipe with a 3-inch to 4-inch coupling. And then you just drill holes, or I in this case did triangles, and the water will just flow through that bottom aspect. And then once the water level hits down to right here, right where those triangles are, it clicks off and then restarts. So the water is basically going to be sucking from here. It'll start and then it'll flood all the way down, and then once it gets to those holes at the bottom and catches air, it clicks off and then it refills all the way back up and then goes back down. So at the end of our video, I'm going to talk more about our bell siphon and the flood and drain and how to make it work properly. But for now, we got to get rocks into this system, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So I'm just going to use black lava rock that I have here, and we're going to place it into our rock box. And this is going to be the medium that holds the plant's roots. Yes. So we obviously don't have a full box of rocks. So just as an example, I have this tomato plant that was growing in the yard, and I'm going to go ahead and plant it, acting like this box is full of rocks. And we want to fill the rocks to about up to right in here. Not too high in the box, but you know, pretty far away up so that it's easy to work with. And just imagining that the rocks are up to that point, we'll go ahead and put our tomato plant in the system, and then we'll take in more rocks and we'll bury that root system. So now that we've got the roots in there, and imagining that this box is full of rocks, those roots now, with the flood and drain of the aquaponics and the fish waste fertilizing them, they can go ahead and spread out in the system and they can create much more tomatoes. So we're going to go ahead and get some water put in this thing and get it filled up and running so that we can show you how it's all going to work. And also the plants in the yard are begging for this to start running because of all this summer heat. So let's get it going. So in general, it's best to fill up the aquaponics system with rainwater, distilled water, reverse osmosis water because of the carbonates, and not use tap water like I am now, or well. So the idea is that we're going to go ahead and fill it up with tap water for this purpose of demonstration. And also sometimes I like to cheat it, and when I'm actually creating a system, we'll do this, and then I'll use carbon filter pads and lots of activated charcoal and carbon to basically make it so that we can suck out as many carbonates as possible to get those out and to make the water a little more acidic. Now go ahead and jump on over to part 3 to see the system running and get more information.